So the Mississippi Delta, or some call it the Mississippi Alluvial Valley, is really there is no place like it here in North America. It is where the Mississippi, the biggest river, along with the Ohio and many other tributaries, come together and form this big wetland valley that goes all the way from Cape Girardeau all the way down to New Orleans and into the ocean, into the Gulf of Mexico. Historically, this entire floodplain was forested. All of it, all 25 million acres of it were forested. But over years, over centuries, this has been converted into an agricultural landscape, and it actually is the most productive agricultural landscape in the U.S. and the United States besides the Midwest Corn Belt. As things have transitioned from the forested wetlands to agriculture, really what we're after today is a balance. We need the agriculture, we need to feed ourselves and feed the world. But this area is a big historical floodplain, and if you go around this time of year, February, March, you see that. There's a lot of water out here. What we try to do is seek a balance between the natural wetlands, the forested wetlands, keeping those on the landscapes and the areas that they are best suited, and have the agriculture on the parts of the land that's best suited. And the way we coin it is you farm the best and restore and manage the rest as the natural floodplain that was once there. There's really two big programs that Ducks Unlimited is involved in to help keep this natural habitat in the Mississippi Delta. Again, the bottomland hardwoods, the forested part. One is we work on the state and federal owned lands to make those areas as high quality habitat as they can be through water management, through reforestation. Another thing is we work with private landowners who own some of the best of what's left, forested wetland wise, through what we call a land protection program or a donated conservation easement. And several of them are right here around Mallard Rest. One is called York Woods, owned by Jim Kennedy, just to our east here. And there are others that we work with the landowners to protect that land in perpetuity through essentially a land or real estate instrument. Mississippi and the adjoining states of Arkansas and Louisiana are pretty much ground zero for rice production here in the Delta. Altogether about 2 million acres. And that 2 million acres of rice is one of the most important habitat types right next to the natural forested wetlands we've talked so much about. Why is rice important? Again, it's grown in an irrigated environment or a flooded environment, and that same infrastructure can be used to hold water in the wintertime for the birds. But really, the reason rice is so important is the same reason it's important when we eat it. It's a very nutritious grain, lasts very well in the wintertime, and overall, the amount of calories that are provided on the landscape, there's more in an acre of rice than there is any other crop. What's good for rice is good for ducks. There's a lot of storied characters right here in this area. Not only Mr. Billy Donovan, who's really instrumental in Ducks Unlimited being in Memphis and being so prevalent here in this region. The place has a history as far as the Mississippi River Valley goes. It has the history as far as our volunteers and supporters go, and it's a really special place.
And in the history of Ducks Unlimited, there have been a number of individuals who've come through our history who've had a tremendous impact on our organization. Billy would be one of those. And everything that man touched responded pretty incredibly. This part of the Mid-South has an incredible hunting culture. Memphis has a greater number of duck hunters than any of the other flyways. And so for Billy, it just made good business sense to put our national headquarters in the center of the most popular flyway. What an incredible, passionate duck hunter Billy Donovan is.
Number one, and the most important, it shouldn't be anywhere else in the world but here. It can't be. That was, because this is the heart of it. This is where all of it starts, as far as I'm concerned. I fell in love with it. So did my wife. She loved it. It's still the best place, in my opinion, for duck hunting, if you do it right. And I've hunted a lot of places, and it's as good as it is. I guess somewhere in me I realized that that there was a need to protect the birds and not kill too many. Yeah, I just like duck hunting. I just like ducks. I still do. And I believe in protecting them now.
You know, Billy has a continental legacy with this headquarters and with his role with Wetlands America Trust, but he also has a Mississippi Alluvial Valley legacy because of the properties that he's owned and managed and improved for waterfowl habitat. I put Billy on the Mount Rushmore of Ducks Unlimited. He's one of those pivotal figures that at a unique place in our history, he made something very important happen for this organization. We would not be in Memphis, we would not be in this phenomenal headquarters had it not been for the vision and the determination of Billy Donovan. The Donovan legacy in conservation and waterfowl hunting it's an infant, it'll happen forever.